Welcome back to In the Know News. Today, we're diving into a story that has gone viral, sparked intense debate, and raised serious questions about the future of air travel in Canada. It's about a WestJet flight, a family, and the uncomfortable reality of airline seating that has passengers, experts, and regulators all talking. This isn't just a complaint about a cramped seat, it's a discussion about safety, ethics, and the limits of corporate decisions in aviation. On December 26, 2025, Amanda Schmidt and her family, her mother and father, Manfred Schmidt, boarded a WestJet flight from Edmonton to Toronto en route to the Dominican Republic. Like many travelers, they purchased ultra-basic economy seats. These were non-reclining, tightly packed, and promised only the most minimal space to sit for the duration of the flight. At 6 feet 3 inches tall and weighing approximately 220 pounds, Manfred Schmidt found himself struggling the moment he tried to sit down. A video Amanda posted to TikTok shows her father attempting to get comfortable, only to be met with the harsh reality of a seat that simply didn't fit him. I could not get into the seat. I tried to get my knees in front of me. I'm a little bit taller than normal, maybe, but not a lot, Manfred explained. He described the seat as confining, likening the experience to being jammed in there like a sardine. With a 4-hour flight ahead, he worried not just about discomfort, but about the physical limitations of the seating and the strain it could put on his body. The video quickly went viral, resonating with countless passengers who have had similar experiences. Social media erupted with debate. Some defended the airline's business strategy, calling it consumer choice, while others expressed outrage, calling the seating arrangements inhumane. For Manfred, the discomfort was real, but for Amanda, the issue was larger. She demanded accountability from WestJet, emphasizing that passengers should expect to be able to sit safely and comfortably when they purchase a ticket. When you buy a seat for a human, you should be able to expect it to fit a human safely, she said. WestJet responded, explaining that the aircraft in question was one of our newly reconfigured aircraft. The airline argued that these changes were part of a strategy to make air travel accessible to more Canadians by adding extra rows of seats. This was achieved by reducing seat pitch, the space between the back of one seat and the back of the seat in front. Some rows on certain WestJet aircraft now have a 28-inch pitch, roughly 71 centimeters, significantly smaller than the typical 30-inch pitch standard in Canada. While the airline stated that they are listening to feedback, they also paused plans to install non-reclining seats on more planes after receiving negative reactions from passengers. The controversy didn't stop with passengers. The pilots' union weighed in, expressing concerns about the impact of these changes on safety and passenger comfort. Captain Jacob Aston, chair of the WestJet Master Executive Council, representing all WestJet pilots, stated that while the 28-inch seat pitch meets Transport Canada regulations, it reduces the superior safety margins of previous layouts. Aston highlighted that legality doesn't always guarantee optimal outcomes. The pilots argued that providing guests with a safe and comfortable experience is a hallmark of successful airlines worldwide, and that the reconfiguration diminishes WestJet's brand value and degrades the passenger experience. Experts in aviation echoed these concerns. John Gradek, an aviation specialist at McGill University, explained that while tight seating is more common in Europe, it is unusual in Canada. He noted there are no federal regulations governing how much legroom a passenger must be afforded. According to Gradek, this is an oversight in Canadian aviation policy. How WestJet decides to put the space between the seats, there is no oversight. There is no governance. There is no regulation associated with the amount of space that customers are entitled to, he said. Gradek argued that the federal government should intervene to establish minimum standards, asking the fundamental question, when should regulators step in to protect passengers? Manfred Schmidt, the passenger featured in the viral video, agreed with this assessment. He argued that there should be standardized requirements for legroom, reflecting the diversity and needs of Canadian travelers. I don't think there really should be seats where you cannot move in, he said. For him, this isn't simply a matter of personal comfort. It's about human dignity, health, and safety in travel. Transport Canada weighed in with a more technical perspective. The department confirmed that any interior reconfiguration that could affect aircraft safety, including evacuation performance, weight and balance, and emergency exits, is subject to certification and approval. They reiterated that all modifications made by WestJet complied with established airworthiness standards, ensuring that legality and regulatory compliance were met. Yet, the question remains whether regulatory compliance is sufficient when passengers feel unsafe, uncomfortable, or at risk during routine flights. The debate has sparked a broader conversation across social media platforms, news outlets, and aviation forums. Thousands of Canadians have shared their experiences of cramped seating, echoing Manfred's struggle. Many argue that airlines have increasingly prioritized profit and capacity over passenger well-being. Critics describe ultra-basic economy seating as a form of cost-cutting at the expense of human comfort, sometimes labeling it a cash grab. Others acknowledge the airline's attempt to make travel more affordable, but stress that affordability should not come at the expense of safety and decency. Industry observers point out that WestJet is not alone. Airlines across North America have been testing ways to maximize seating density. Some have introduced non-reclining seats, narrower aisles, and reduced legroom to increase revenue per flight. But the backlash WestJet faced indicates a tipping point. Passengers are willing to speak out, go viral, and demand change when corporate decisions compromise comfort and safety. In this case, a single viral TikTok video ignited a national discussion, illustrating the power of social media in holding corporations accountable. The pilots' union, aviation experts, and passengers collectively underscore that this issue is more than a one-time controversy. It highlights gaps in regulation, safety considerations, and ethical responsibilities. While the airline maintains that all actions were compliant with Transport Canada rules, the public outcry raises a larger question about whether compliance alone is enough in an era where social media amplifies every passenger's voice. WestJet's response, though cautious, shows the company is aware of public perception. Pausing the installation of non-reclining seats suggests the airline is listening, at least in part, to feedback. But the incident also exposes a tension inherent in modern air travel, balancing profitability with human comfort, legality with ethical responsibility, and customer choice with minimum standards of care. For passengers like the Schmidts, the experience was personal, uncomfortable, and eye-opening. For the broader public, it has become a touchstone for ongoing debates about airline responsibility, government oversight, and what constitutes humane travel. As Canadians watch this story unfold, the discussion will likely influence airline policy, regulatory action, and the way future aircraft are designed. The viral video has already sparked conversations, but it also poses a lingering question. As airlines experiment with seating configurations to maximize profit, who ultimately ensures that passengers are treated safely and humanely? And how far should regulators go to protect the basic rights of travelers?